All right, welcome into Sports Bit. Betting Insights today. Paulie Howard, Teddy Covers. Friday, February 26th. Deep dive topic of the day is going to be the Oscars. Looking forward to that. Play of the day, of course, and big game breakdown. We always start with a fresh take, and the Warriors do it again. 52-5 on the season. Curry was sensational. He had 51 points, 24 in the third quarter, 6 of 7 from 3, and 7 times in NBA history, a player scored 50 points and hit 10 threes. Curry's done it 4 of the 7 times. Also 50 points last night. He made 1 free throw. They score 130 points, and Thompson only scores 9. 52-5, Teddy, and I'm still sick and tired that they're not getting enough respect. And back in my day, guy, enough already.
Oh, yeah, and you want to talk about a guy who's unflappable. Look at this. They beat the Hawks in Atlanta on Monday. On Tuesday, he plays 18 holes at Augusta with Iguodala and Jerry West and the Warriors owner, Joe Lacob. And then he goes out and scores 93 points the next 2 nights. You know, I mean, in a zone is not the appropriate way to describe Steph Curry right now. He is the most effective player in the NBA. And this Warriors team at 52-5. Look, they beat Oklahoma City on Saturday night. They're 53-5. Their schedule's not that tough down the stretch. Lots of games at home. This team might not just beat the Bulls record. They might obliterate the Bulls record. You think that's possible? And yet, still, you're absolutely right, Paul. The get off my lawn guy. Oh, these Warriors. You know, I'm talking to my boys back east tonight. They're like, oh, the bad boy Pistons had beat them, and the Bulls, all 6 championship teams would have beat them, and the Lakers would have beaten them, and the Celtics would. No. You're not watching. You're not paying attention. There's something special going on in the NBA right now on a nightly basis. And that thing that's special is Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, so Oscar Robertson came out and said the reason Curry's dominating is bad defense and bad coaching. Steven Jackson actually said the 2007 Warriors would beat this team. They went 42-40. Put down the pipe already. But what do your friends say? What's their argument? Because you know this, we've talked about it. Back in the 80s, the three-pointer was a bad shot. They was, oh, go ahead, you want to take that? And that's the thing with Curry. He's shooting from the parking lot. And he's 46% from 3. 3 is bigger than 2. And when they go small, there's nothing you can do. That's why they would beat all these teams in the 80s and the 90s if they matched up with them.
And what I'm hearing from the critics, they think there's a lack of toughness for Golden State because they play small ball. This team's brutal in the paint. They'll throw elbows with anybody, and they win the rebounding battle. It's not like their defensive metrics aren't top of the NBA. They are, but I think it's maybe a defense argument or the fact that the Suns team that played at a fast pace didn't win any championships, didn't play any defense. People are comparing Golden State to that. They're not watching what's actually happening, Paul. Look in the betting markets right now. You know, I checked just before we went on air today at CG, at Canner. We're looking at the Warriors minus 150 against everybody else to win the title. At William Hill, minus 220. They're not just favorites. They're big favorites over the other 29 teams. The bettors are telling you who the best team is. That team is Golden State. They may not get the respect that they deserve until they win back-to-back titles, Paulie. But you know what? This team's going to win back-to-back titles. They're the only team I would be interested in at this stage to bet, even at this ridiculous gotta lay a price with them number.
And oh, by the way, they're probably going to set the record for most wins in a row at home. With that college atmosphere, who's going to beat that team in a series as well and knock them off a couple times on their home floor? It's ridiculous. All right.
It really comes down to, like, people think they're not tough. If you watch them, you know they're tough, but maybe they're not on TV enough. Maybe they haven't won enough championships yet. That respect will come. It's not there yet. And that sometimes gives bettors a real opportunity.
All right, bad beats and wrong sides. A couple vicious beats, Teddy. Take it away.
Oh, my gosh. You had Penn State last night. Not a friendly ending to that one. They lead wire to wire. They're up 9 with 4 to go and ends up tied. So, you get fouled. All you got to do is hit a couple of free throws. We can cover minus 1.5. The dude, it's 1 of 2. They win by 1. Nittany Lions backers. Ouch. In that one. What about North Texas? North Texas is even worse. I mean, look, we're not talking casual fans betting a lot of CUSA basketball, but they're leading, they're plus 10.5, leading 20 seconds left. They missed a front end of a 1-1. They could have won in regulation. Instead, they lose by 11 in overtime. Plus 10.5. No good.
Yep, wrong sides. Well, it was inevitable. They waived Joe Johnson, so a ton of money came in on the Suns. You look up, they're down 20, and the Suns, the Nets rather, missed a ton of shots down the stretch just to make it look good. The Nets ran them off the floor.
Oh my God, Brooklyn, they didn't score a bucket for more than 7.5 minutes of the fourth quarter of that game. And at the end of that stretch, okay, you hold a team without a basket for 7.5 minutes in the fourth quarter, you're supposed to be in the game. Phoenix, at the end of that stretch, they were still down 10. That's how bad the Suns are right now. And of course, what about USC last night? This is a Trojans team that was competing for a Pac-10 title a month ago. Things have gotten ugly for Mr. Enfield and company. And you have to talk about bad bets. Anyone who's betting the Warriors on this road trip under the total, yeah, those have been bad bets, at least so far. What do they fly over by another 20 points tonight, even with a total in the 220s?
Yeah, and during that winning streak, they're averaging 121 points per game. All good points there. Up next, big game breakdown. We'll get to the top games coming up on SportsBit. Betting insights today. All right, time for big game breakdown. We'll start in the East. Cavs -1.5 in Toronto to take on the Raptors. The Raptors only 3 games behind Cleveland for the 1 seed in the East. And Teddy, Kyle Lowry's really running the show for Toronto.
He sure is. Look at this list with the real plus-minus figures in the NBA this season. And the guys at the top are the guys you expect to see at the top. Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook and Draymond Green and Kawhi and LeBron. And then you look, you say, Kyle Lowry, number 6? That's kind of a head-scratcher. But it's not when you think about it. And it goes back to a theme we were talking about yesterday. You said Cleveland, only 3 games ahead of Toronto in the standings in the East. There's not a world of separation between these two teams. Look at the spread tonight. Cleveland in a position where a straight-up win likely equals a point spread cover. Again, not a world of separation. How's Toronto having this type of year? Why are they the number 2 seed in the East right now and hot on the heels of the Cavs? It's simple. It's their backcourt, DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. 2 guys who, because they're playing north of the border, haven't gotten the love and haven't gotten the hype. We talked about the exact same thing with the Portland Trail Blazers yesterday, and their 15-3 straight up run in the last 18 games behind a great backcourt that wasn't getting a lot of pub. And it's the exact same story in Toronto. Lowry, the numbers show it here, how elite he's actually been. And in particular, Paul, he's been at his best when stepping up in class at home against other elite teams.
Yeah, and just like the Raptors, and you look at this graphic right here, the Raptors at home against the elite teams, catching 3 against Cleveland, they won 103-99. 7.5-point dogs at home to Golden State, they lost by 3, 112-109. 6-point underdogs against the Spurs, they won 97-94. And favored by 2.5 against the Clippers, they ran them out 112-94. So 3-1 straight up and 4-0 ATS against the top teams, the elite teams at home. On to Denver and Dallas. Dallas laying 5 at home, and Teddy, some incredible numbers here on the Nuggets on the road in ATS.
No question. I mean, Denver's been a monster as a road dog since the beginning of January. 7-1 against the number. They've won 4 of those games outright. They have an overtime loss in the mix. And really, when we talk about Mike Malone's team, we saw such a character win from them the other night. They came out of the All-Star break. They got slapped around against Sacramento, lost a pair of games, 1 at home, 1 in Sacramento, had another loss in between. The defense wasn't there. They're on the second night of back-to-backs. They go and play and step up in class in LA against the Clips, and they completely shut that team down. Bad spot, rough start. All the situation was pointing against Denver. A character win for that squad, and it's what they've been doing in hostile environments, basically, for the better part of the last couple of months.
Yeah, and with Dallas, since January 1st, they've led at the end of regulation in 3 of 13 home games. 76ers, Nets, and the Suns are the wins. Overtime against the Kings and the Wolves. 4-10 straight up the last 14 with the wins against the 76ers, the Nets, and the Lakers. And Memphis without Gasol. So I give them a lot of credit because I thought they was going to tank when they lost out on the DeAndre Jordan sweepstakes. But it's so far a good season, but it looks like they're running out of gas and they're really struggling.
You say tank. I mean, look at this. Look at the teams they're beating. You listed every bad team in the NBA right now.
Yep.
They're beating the Sixers and the Nets and the Suns and the Lakers. They're not beating good teams. And Denver's certainly not elite. They're pretty good. I think we'll get back to this game when it's play of the day time at the end of the show.
You got it. We close it out with North Carolina and Virginia. Expect this line to come out around 3 or so. Virginia at home. Teddy, how important is tempo in a high or low scoring game here? And maybe 75 is the key number.
Yeah, it sure is. And this has been a staple for North Carolina in the Roy Williams era. When games are played at a slow pace, the Tar Heels do not do well. Look at the hard numbers. 3 years ago, they go 4-9 in games where neither team reaches 75 points. Last year, 6-8. This year, 0-6 so far. That's 10-23 against the spread in these low-scoring games. And guess what? Virginia doesn't play a whole lot of games that get to 75. Not for them, not for their opponents. The question for Virginia, of course, is do they have the toughness? Anthony Gill, he's a monster, but there's a toughness that the Cavaliers are going to have to show in this one to control the pace. If they're able to do it, they're in good position. Not to pull off the upset, no, to pull off the win. Obviously, they'll be favored at home, although don't yet have a look-ahead line on this one. But as you mentioned, Paul, we expect the Cavaliers to come as short home favorites.
Coming up next, deep dive and topic of the day, the Oscars, the picks, the odds, and play of the day on SportsBit. Betting insights today. All right, time for the deep dive and topic of the day, the Oscars Sunday. Can you believe it? 4.5 hours pre-show. That's some pregame. It's got nothing on the Super Bowl. Wow, how about that? What are you wearing? What are you looking like? Unbelievable. All right, in any event, The Big Short, to me, the best movie of the year. Revenant, a close second. Too long, but DiCaprio's unbelievable. Spotlight, very good as well. Teddy, what'd you think of these movies?
You're kidding, right?
What?
You know I haven't seen one of them. I didn't come close to seeing one of them. Who has time to go out to the movies, dude? I'm a sports bettor. I'm not a moviegoer. And when I do go see a movie, it always ends up being some animated crap that I got to go see with my son because that's what he wants to see. It's not like I'm going to see The Revenant. You know, Karen and I are going on a date night for movies. That just doesn't happen a whole lot. And I haven't seen any of them. So, you know, it's not about my opinion. It's about the Academy's opinion. That's what we're looking for, Paul.
So you have some Hollywood friends. You got some Hollywood insiders. You made some phone calls. You were talking to them. What did they say about the odds and who they expect to win on Sunday?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's talk about a basic betting strategy for the Oscars. And the basic betting strategy is the chalk rules. All right. The big favorites are big favorites for a reason. The betting markets are not foolish on this. The limits are low. And when we're talking about some of these numbers, I mean, you're going to run through some of these, Paul, but we're talking about, you know, you got to bet 100 to win $1, you know. You got to bet 12 to win $1 or 10 to win $1. They're not the type of bets that casual fans are into. That doesn't mean they're not going to win. The chalk is supposed to win. That's the number one rule for betting the Oscars is if you want to actually make money, you got to bet the chalk.
Well, I'll tell you, before I run these down, I'll tell you what's interesting. You have several major award ceremonies and award shows. Now, early on, Spotlight won, and that became the favorite. That was like $1.20 to win Best Picture. Then The Big Short won. That became the favorite. And early on, The Revenant was like plus $3. Then a couple weeks ago at the BAFTAs, The Revenant cleaned up. And now The Revenant is minus $2 to win Best Picture. About a month ago, month and a half, it was plus $3, plus $4. That tells you how crazy it is. So The Revenant minus $2 Best Picture. Inarritu, back-to-back, he won last year for Birdman. Best Director, The Revenant, minus $8. Huge chalk there. Here's your first lock. Leonardo DiCaprio to win Best Actor, you have to bet 100 to win $1. Huge.
And let me just jump in real quick, Paul,
Yep.
because I mean, obviously, lock is not a real term. There are no locks. That being said, when I talked to my contacts, there were 4 bets that they said in particular, there's no way this guy's going to lose, or there's no way this gal's going to lose. And that's the case for the 4 things listed on this chart as quote unquote locks.
Okay, number 2 would be Brie Larson, Best Actress, 3,300. Stallone, Best Supporting Actor, minus 350. Alicia Vikander, minus 250. Best Supporting Actress.
You're asking me? I didn't see any of these movies.
Inside.
I don't know what the hell.
Was that a question? Huh, jerk? It'd be good to see Stallone get back on track for Creed. I hear his performance is incredible. Inside Out, here's another one. You got to bet $100 to win $1. Best Animated Feature. Spotlight, another lock. One of the 4 there. This is the 3rd one. Spotlight, minus $12. Best Original Screenplay. The Big Short, the last lock, minus 1,000. Best Adapted Screenplay. And Son of Saul, Best Foreign Film, minus 1,200.
Sure, and again, that's what's supposed to win. Now, obviously, if you're a regular guy, you want to put a couple of bucks on this, and maybe if you cash one of these, it'll make your night. My Hollywood contacts gave me a couple of things that you might want to look at. Again, I don't expect any of these to win, but if there is a favorite that goes down, maybe you can cash a big ticket on something like this. How about this? Best Animated Feature, I don't know how to even pronounce it. Anomalisa, it's 20 to 1. My boy says it's live.
Ooh!
Best Picture. Now, how about this one? 80 to 1 on Mad Max. Mad Max? 80 to 1? I tried watching it on HBO. I couldn't even last 15 minutes in that movie.
Okay.
Best Director, though. My contact's very bullish on Mad Max in terms of director or Best Picture. Thinking that this movie is live. You know, George Miller's only plus 700 compared to 80 to 1 for Best Picture. Obviously, more likely to occur. And Best Foreign Film, Mustang, the context, says, hey, if you want to put a couple of bucks, this might be worth it at plus 600.
All right, great. Some good long shots there. I'll throw one in. It's not, I think Kate Winslet and Steve Jobs can win Best Supporting Actress plus 350. Take a flyer on that one. I think she could win as well. You go see The Big Short. You'll love it. I've seen it twice. You will love The Big Short.
I read the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I'm a Michael Lewis fan.
I didn't know that. Really?
Sure, but the Blind Side, good book, chick flick. You know what I mean? I was afraid that The Big Short was going to be the same thing.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. All right, that'll be a lot of fun. Check that out. You're talking about, oh man, if your wife gets control of the remote on Sunday, that's 8 hours of coverage. Pack a lunch, my friend. You're in for it. Go up in the man cave, try to get away and watch some ball games. Here we go. Money time. Play of the day. Teddy, what do you have?
Well, we talked earlier in the show about all the problem that the Dallas Mavericks are having in the home favorites role. And we talked earlier in the show about all the success that the Denver Nuggets are having in the road underdog role. And I know that there's going to be money coming in because Dallas just lost and Denver just won. Let's take advantage of some of that money. Play of the day, Nuggets, plus 5 at Dallas. Expecting them to keep it close and maybe win this game in outright fashion. Give me Denver plus the points. That's the Sportsbit play of the day.
Awesome job. Fun week. You have a good one, Teddy. And we'll be back on Monday on Sportsbit. Betting Insights today.